Hey friends, it's Kelly and welcome back to Mama Needs a Goal. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're new here, welcome. So today I'm going to show you how I make my Reuben casserole. This is a very low carb, keto friendly casserole. If you love Reuben sandwiches, you are going to love this casserole without all those extra carbs because we're eliminating the bread. So what I am going to be using is a corned beef brisket that I have here. I'll show you the back side. Yes, this is very large. It will shrink up a little bit. I'm going to be using some sauerkraut. I'll be putting a little bit of Dijon Mustard on my corned beef when I put it in the oven. And the other thing is a Thousand Island dressing, and Swiss cheese. So I'm going to show you how simple this is to make. I am the only one in the house that eats this, so I will be making this big batch here, and then what I do is I will cut it up into individual meals for myself, and I freeze it. I actually put it, after I make it, I put it in the freezer, freeze it, and then when I want lunch, and believe it or not, I eat this for breakfast as well. Just grab it out, put it in the microwave for like 3 minutes, and I am golden. So I'm going to show you how I make my casserole. It's going to take about an hour in the oven for the brisket to cook. And then after I get it out and it cools down and slice it up, I'll show you how I put together my casserole. So let me get my brisket opened up and in my pan, and I will show you what I do to season it. Okay, my friends, I now have my pan lined with aluminum foil. I have my corned beef brisket in the pan. I do have it fat side up. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my Dijon Mustard. I'm going to put a little bit of that on my brisket. I'm just going to take my little brush here. I'm going to brush the mustard all over. Okay, you do not have to do this if you don't want to. I think it just gives it a really good flavor. But with all the other ingredients that we used in there, you don't really need to do this. I just normally do this when I make a brisket to eat. So it's just out of habit that I do this when I make it for the casserole as well. Okay, so now we have that. Now in your corned beef brisket there will be a little seasoning packet. You can use all of it or just a little bit. So we're going to sprinkle it. It's pretty much how, you know, flavorful you want it, I guess. So I just sprinkle it all around until I have it covered. And I think that's about all that I'm going to use. So I do have a little bit left. Friends, that is it as far as preparing this. The oven is set for 350 degrees. Now let me grab another piece of foil here. And what I'm going to do is cover this up, and it needs to be very, very tight. I'm going to make sure oh, of course I just ripped it. Okay, there we go. It's very tight. I'm going to put this in the oven on 350 for about an hour. This is a little bit larger than what I normally buy. So you want to make sure the internal temperature is at least 160 degrees. If you reach that temperature, then you know it's done. So we're going to put it in for about an hour, and then I will check the internal temperature. So let me go ahead and get this in the oven because it is ready. Okay, now I'm going to set my timer for 1 hour. All right, my friends, so I have my sauerkraut open. I normally buy the bag of sauerkraut, but this time I ended up getting the can because I could not find the bag of sauerkraut. So I have it open. I'm going to dump this in my strainer here. This is a little thin wire strainer, so this doesn't go through the strainer. I'm going to get all the excess liquid out. There is a lot of liquid in this, and you just want to keep squeezing it, pushing it against the strainer to get all of that liquid out. And we want it as dry as possible because your casserole will get a little bit too wet, and you don't want that. So we're gonna go ahead and dump this in and get all that juice out. Oh, and my hands are clean. I just washed them right before I started. And you're just gonna be pushing it down against the strainer like this and getting all that excess juice out. There we go. And just get all that juice out and just keep pushing on it and pushing on it and pushing on it. And I'm going to work on this, get all this out so we don't have a wet casserole. All right, my friends. So I'm just straining it using the sink here as leverage. Hope you can see that water coming out. Just keep straining and straining. I think I got most of it out now, so I'm going to leave it sit here in the sink, and my meat should be done in about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to let it cool and cut it up and put together the casserole. Alright, my friends, my meat has been in the oven for about an hour and 10 minutes now, so I'm going to pull it out and check the internal temperature. This is very hot, so you need to be careful of the steam so you do not burn yourself. Make sure when you pull that back, the steam does not come out. See that steam coming out? You do not want to burn yourself. Alright, we're going to put it in the thickest part. We want it to be at least 160. We are only at about 110. So we're going to put that back in the oven. This is a very large piece of meat, so I had a funny feeling it was going to take, we just went up to 120. I'm going to put it back in for about a half an hour. Like I said, this is a very large piece of meat, and I had a feeling it was going to take a little bit longer than an hour. Try to put this back on. So I'm going to put it in again for about 30 more minutes, I think. And then we'll test it again. Okay, my friends, we should be good now. Let's check this. This has been in for about an hour and 35 minutes. And we should be done. Again, make sure you're very careful when taking the foil off with all that steam that comes off. Get my thermometer, put it in the largest part. I don't know if you can see that or not. We are going up pretty fast. We have hit 160. We're going a little bit past it. So it looks like our meat is now done. So I'm going to let this cool, then I'll cut it and we'll put the casserole together. Alright, my friends, so it is a little bit later in the day. My brisket has now cooled down, so I am going to go ahead and slice it up. In the meantime, I'm going to get my oven heated up. I'm going to set that at 400 degrees. We're going to end up baking this for about 15 or 20 minutes. So let me get the oven turned on and then turn you around, and we're going to go ahead and get the meat cut up. All right, my friends, so here it is. We're going to go ahead and start slicing. I like mine very, very thin. So I'm going to cut it as thin as I possibly can. All right, let's get this bad boy sliced up. All right, my friends, it is now all cut up. Let me throw it on the plate here. And then we're going to, I'm going to cut that piece, that's a little thick. I was struggling a little bit getting it thin because my hands were hurting. I'm going to go ahead and get my hands cleaned up, and then we're going to go ahead and get this put together. Alright, my friends, so I think this is a 9 by 9, 8 by 8 baking dish. You could do an 8 by 8 or 9 by 9. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put in some corned beef and just layer it on the bottom here like that. This is very, very easy to do. Just get a couple small pieces there. Okay, and then to do is take a little bit of my sauerkraut that's all drained. I'm just going to sprinkle it on top like that. You can see how easy this is. A little bit more there, right there. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of my Thousand Island dressing. I'm just going to gently, just a little bit of it. You can use as much as you would like. That's about all I want on mine. But you can use more. It's, you know, personal preference there. I'm just smoothing it out a little bit and making sure that all my corned beef is spread out. Okay, and then I'm gonna actually take this big piece. This is a thick slice of cheese here. I don't know why it's so thick. Actually, I think I'm gonna use that on top, so hopefully it'll melt a little better. So now what you do is just put in some Swiss cheese. Put 2 slices there. There. So I basically am using 3 slices of Swiss cheese. And now I'm putting in, I'm going to switch it up, I think, like that. So it's not layered the same way every time. Like that. Flip that around. Go ahead and add that in. And that. Add that piece.